The real Rallye du Maroc now gets underway with a 226-kilometre stage from Fez towards the south and Erfoud, which will be the base of the events. Following the prologue, the top 15 riders from that short stage chose their starting positions on the road for the first proper stage in the desert. Do you want to lead, or do you want to follow?
15, 15, 15. First.
In the end, it was Johnny Aubert who got first place off the line. It's the first time for me to be able to open the stage, so I'm here to gain experience for the Dakar. I can then work on my engine and the roadbook too. This is the chance. An early start for everybody as they left Fez through the early dawn sunshine to the start line. Things got underway. The beautiful landscapes, nobody had much time to look, not least of all Adrian van Beveren. It was unfortunately his turn to be ill. There's a lot of it about, unfortunately. But for the Yamaha rider, he did well. He was 7th today. Matthias Walkner used up most of his rear tyre today. Many did, but the Austrian really did give it quite a thrashing. He was 6th on the stage. 5th on the stage today was Toby Price. He was the winner here 2 years ago, in touch and fully over a nasty bout of tonsillitis from earlier in the week. It's a long way to come from Bolivia to Morocco, but for Daniel Nosiglia, these conditions suit him, and his Honda went well with a brilliant 4th after a long, difficult stage. Top Honda was Ricky Brabec, carrying the might of HRC. The softly spoken American kept just enough rear tyre throughout the stage to keep the Japanese team happy. He was only 90 seconds off the stage victory after a stage that took over 3 hours. Just missing out on the best time to Erfoud was recently crowned 2019 World Champion Sam Sunderland. He was the top KTM. Top of the pile after the first real stage on the 2019 Rallye du Maroc was Pablo Quintanilla. The Husqvarna did not miss a beat over a stage that many found terribly difficult. A fantastic start. It was difficult. The whole stage was difficult, but for the last 40 kilometres it was very stony, almost a trial-style section, but in a valley landscape. There was also the difficulty of the new roadbook. It was not easy. So Quintanilla top of the pile, 40 seconds ahead of Sunderland. Ricky Brabec in 3rd, 1 minute 31 back. Nostiglia and Toby Price. For Fernando Alonso, it was his first stage at World Cup Rally Raid level, and what a baptism! 3 punctures and then a day of dust. We had different problems, but the starting order didn't help because we spent all day in the dust. I just couldn't see. Losing big time today, again with punctures from the terribly difficult stage, was Carlos Sainz. Back in the desert, changing 2 tyres, not a great start, but he's now 8th overall. A brilliant run today for the Dutchman Ten Brink, even though his hand knocked the trip and he got lost for 5 minutes as he had to find his way out of a dry riverbed. 5 minutes and 14 seconds back in 3rd was Stefan Perhansel in the mini buggy, but he was hamstrung after his rear left through a tread not far from the finish, so instead of changing it, he limped home at reduced speed. What could have been? But he's there and thereabouts, and he's still in touch. Janil de Villiers kept a good pace on the opening stage to be third with his Toyota, a good sign as he settles in with new co-driver Alex Haro. A fantastic run from Mathieu Serradori and his Century buggy today. The immaculately prepared car is bristling with huge amounts of carbon fibre, and it did everything perfectly to be best rear-wheel drive. Second for him today. The title leader survived the stones at the start of the stage, but then Nasser Al-Attiyah hit a rock hidden in a small bush. Come the finish, his rears were all the way down to the canvas. A day of punctures for everyone, but in the end, only that one for Al-Attiyah. He sealed the win by 2 minutes and 39 seconds.
I'm quite happy to finish the stage one without any mistake from navigation. Mathieu did good job, and the car is really working good, and the Michelin also tire working good. But today it was very rocky in mounting, and yeah, I am quite happy to be here in the finish.
Al-Attiyah heads the field by just under 3 minutes from Serradori, de Villiers, Peder Hansel and Ten Brink. The spirit of Rally Raid continues with the Rallye du Maroc. It's the second stage for the 2019 Rallye du Maroc, 387 kilometres today for the stage. The temperature is rising in more ways than one. Just look at those dunes. Not that anybody has got much time to admire the view. The first part of a marathon stage for the motorcycles. They've got a limited service by the time they return to the bivouac tonight, so it was all about preserving the motorcycle, and most of all, preserving their tyres. Brand new 2019 world champion Sam Sunderland had an off today. He fell hard onto his elbow. He is out of the rally. Ricky Brabec, one of the unfortunate losers of the day, he struggled to find a waypoint and had a while to try and find his way out of where he was lost. Likewise, the Austrian Matthias Waltner, he was furious to not find his way out of a valley at kilometre 315. He was not happy at all by the time he got to the finish. He finished 11th today. Another one who lost time struggling was Toby Price. He's riding back on form, but he wasn't happy at the day's end. After a 5-minute penalty last night, Quintanilla had huge pace, but he didn't want to wear out his rear tyre. He's got to keep that tyre for the next stage tomorrow. What about Andrew Short, the softly spoken American, backing up more and more stateside being part of rally raiding? He grabbed a great third today, well in touch with the front runners. Second position has gone to Kevin Benavides on his Honda 450 CRF, a great result for him in the dunes. After a bad day yesterday, Bereda pulled it out of the hat today with an outright win on the big stage, 5.5 minutes ahead of the rest. He's back and he's quick.
At
the start it was a little bit strange because I saw many riders lost, but from then on I kept a good rhythm through the stage. At the end I arrived in a group, but it was a very good stage for me. I'm happy. So overall it is Bereda 6.5 minutes ahead of Short, Benavides, Van Beveren and Evan Branch Ross. After just 10 minutes of service allowed, only by the rider, the bikes have now gone into Parc Fermé. In the morning, they're allowed another 15 minutes to work on the bike before another huge stage. Ignacio Casale won the quads today, a good run for him to be 12 minutes clear of the rest. Rafa Sonic wrapped up his 6th World Championship this year. He had a small overnight penalty, but he's still well and truly in the running. Javier Flick dominated the first stage of the Enduro like never been seen before. He was 52 minutes ahead of the rest yesterday. This is the class where minimum amounts of modifications are allowed to be made to standard production bikes. The second stage of the Rallye du Maroc through the dunes of Mazoga that had some very difficult waypoints for the crews to hit. Carlos Sainz, he had a good run but a puncture that hurt him. The two-time World Rally Champion is still a fighter though, and is holding the two-wheel drive in his own in amongst the four-wheel drives. He was 5th today. Janil de Villiers had an early problem that sounded like the V8 had dropped a cylinder, but in reality, it was a broken manifold. It lost him some power and it overfueled. Come the finish, they only had 10 litres left in the tank. 4th today, 2nd overall. Stefan Peder Hansel wants to win the World Cup and he's still chasing those four-wheel drives hard. Now in the hard dunes, with wife Andrea alongside him, it's a team that is well into its stride. After some bad luck this year, Kuba Brzezgonski flew today to be 2nd on the stage. A great run that really showed the speed of the four-wheel drive Mini. A truly incredible stage though from Nasser Al Attiyah with a car that had hardly turned a wheel before it left its build in South Africa. It was a long day for all the crews, but the Qatari said he held a high pace for most of the stage, at times running over 100%. He smashed it to win by 12.5 minutes.
I was really pushing, because I need to see where we are. Yeah, it's looked like a good stage for us, and we managed without any mistake.
So overall, it's Al Attiyah leading by over 17 minutes from teammate de Villiers. Peder Hansel's in 3rd, Ten Brink and Carlos Sainz. The SSVs are getting quicker rally by rally as they pull in more competitors from all over the globe. After the second stage, Spain's Gerard Fares holds 2nd position, and in 1st is Aaron Domzala, who heads the class with his Can-Am. Casey Curry dominates the SSV Open class with his Can-Am. He holds a 24-minute advantage. In the Open category, it is Philippe Gache in touch with his Toyota, while Christian Lavalle heads the category. He knows so much about desert racing. In the truck category, it's all domination from the Czech Republic. 2 Ivecos, 1st and 2nd, with Martin chasing the outright leader, Valtir Yaroslav. We have more from the Rallye du Maroc tomorrow with Stage 3. Rallye du Maroc 2019 continues over stunning scenery that never fails to impress. Stage 3 is over 2 hard sections totaling 363 kilometres, all under searing sun. Part 2 of the marathon stage for the motorcycles. A dawn start meant it was cold, but the pace soon raised the temperature. The teams were not allowed to service overnight, so riders started with what they finished with yesterday. And the riders only received the day's maps a few minutes before the start. The stage was underway. Could Juan Barreda and Honda hold the overall lead? 4th overnight and leading Yamaha Van Beveren couldn't battle illness anymore. He pulled up and called it a day. Bereda lost the most. He was the overall leader heading out, but with the others chasing his dust cloud, he was always going to get caught. 12th on the stage, now 6th overall. At the start of the second part, I saw that the mousse was coming out of the tyre, and for 20-30 kilometres I didn't have any mousse left in the front at all, so for the rest of the stage I struggled. It was okay on the fast sections, but in the slower parts it just wouldn't turn.
En las secciones rápidas se llevaba bastante bien, pero en las zonas técnicas, en las curvas era imposible girar.
Pablo Quintanilla has had a good day, having started 9th. He's leapt right up to 4th after this big day. He's been heavy on the gas of the Husqvarna. Jose Corneo has cantered through Morocco with his Honda 450 Rallye and stealthily been there. 5th, a great result on the test. 12th overall. Johnny Aubert may well be low down on the order, but over today's 363 kilometres, he was 4th. The Sherco showing well. Argentine Franco Caimi has been the dark horse on this rally and is turning in a great performance. He's guided his Yamaha to 3rd today, 3rd overall. Matthias Walkner had a bad day on the previous stage but turned it around today. He may have missed a lot of riding this year with injury, but now he's 2nd overall after gaining good time. Sometimes you pay the price when lost, but this price, Toby got his money's worth by looking after his bike to take the win and the overall lead by 4 minutes.
It was a lot better day than yesterday, but yeah, that's because we start back and yeah, you can kind of come through a little bit, but still the road book is missing a lot of information, so it's still quite difficult from back where we were, but we've had a good day.
Overall, it's Toby on top from his teammate Walkner, Caimi there in that 3rd, Quintanilla up to 4th, Luciano Benavides in 5th. Chile's Ignacio Casale leads the quad class. The Yamaha rider has 37 minutes over Rafael Sonic's similar 700cc Yamaha. So, the time is here for the roadbook to be presented to the crews just as they line up before the stage. This is the first time we've never seen it. We can't prepare the maps, so there's a little bit of stress.
I will just turn the first pages to see if there's something strange looking, but that's all you can do in those 5 minutes.
For me, the biggest point is the danger. So just have a small look at the pages, that there's not missing 1 or 2. And I think the 5 minutes are gone.
We're first on the road, so I can allow myself a couple of mistakes. Alatir was therefore first off the line. He had a clear view. Martin Prokop, unfortunately, had a huge accident in his Ford today. The crew has been taken to hospital for precautionary checks. Fernando Alonso was 10th overall on his very first rally raid, but got caught out in a ditch. The impact was huge.
Yeah, we had the damage on the suspension and on the car. It was a big ditch in the middle of or nearly at the end of the first part of the stage, kilometer 75. And yeah, unfortunately we could not repair, and we had to come here. The first impression is that the car is repairable, it's okay to be ready tomorrow, but we need to confirm when they remove the wheel.
It actually broke the chassis. The car is being repaired and Alonso will be back in. Ten Brink hit the same ditch at 150 kilometers an hour and broke the front suspension, but not the chassis. It's put him out of contention. Yazid Al-Raji with new co-driver Michael Orr had searing pace with their Toyota. They're in touch and in the top 5. De Villiers loved the drive through stage 3. The new Toyota not missing a beat. No punctures, no problems. 4th for the Firma touring car driver on the test, but he holds 2nd overall here in Morocco. No navigation problems at all for Peter Hansel. The notes were good and he never had any trouble finding the right way. Everyone had a problem towards the end of the stage for a waypoint, but he's happy to be third overall. Alatia started first with the roadbook he hadn't studied, but he was so cool to build his confidence. It worked. He got the overall win in his pocket. He's 57 years old, but Carlos Sainz was quickest. He's still got the speed. Incredibly, the top four were covered by 41 seconds after over 3 hours of rallying. The day was good, hard for the co-drivers, but I'm very happy. So now overall, Alatia's leads 17 minutes from De Villiers. It's a Toyota 1-2 from Peter Hansel and Sainz. Serradori 5th. In SSV Maroc Telecom class, the leader Damzola had a huge off. He rolled 3 times, but amazingly he managed to continue. However, the new leader in SSV is now Gerard Fares. And for the big hitters, it's the Ivecos all the way with the Czech Republic driver Jaroslav Vatel heading the truck class. 2 more stages to go for the 2019 Rallye du Maroc. The 2019 Rallye du Maroc continues. The normal Moroccan pace is being somewhat upped. The stage today is 311 kilometres with a southern loop. The day dawned with the roadbook given to the riders just 25 minutes before the start. The Mzuoga dunes beckoned once more, but it gave people quite a few problems. Which way? Left or right? That way? Back? Forward? Which way do you want to go? Toby Price was first out of the blocks after a victory the day before. He led the whole day and was one of many to get a little lost. Unfortunately for the Aussie, losing the overall lead as well. Recovering from injury has gone well so far here in Morocco, but today Matthias Vautner crashed. And look at that injured knee. It has blown up like a balloon. Will he be okay to continue? Franco Caimi and Quintanilla, only 1 second between them coming into today, but for the Argentine, he lost a little time with his Yamaha against the Husqvarna. Still inside the top 10, he's 9th. Who's on top to make it the 4th different winner in 4 days then? Paulo Gonçalves with the Hero. One of the older riders in the rally used his experience to be top of the pole by just under a minute.
Today I tried to clean my mind and start just to pushing, do my race, and finally just a small mistake before refueling, and there we give 1 or 2 minutes. We are on 1 or 2 minutes lost, but in the end it's enough to win the stage, so it's good for me, good for the team.
Ricky Brabec is now top Honda after his 2nd today, putting him 3rd overall, just ahead of his teammate Juan Barreda. Overnight, Pablo Quintanilla was 6 minutes back in 4th, but he used the 311 kilometres to the max, putting in a stellar ride to leapfrog up the order to a very close 2nd overall. Never short of speed, Andrew Short's Husqvarna shot through the stage to win. Even with a small technical problem, he flew to make him the 4th different winner in 4 days and Husqvarna's 1st in Morocco in 2019.
The roadbook before refuel was really confusing. I think everybody got lost, and I rode to the top of the hill and I found some local. He was out of his tent and I just looked at him and asked him, to kind of point. And he pointed that way, and so I rode that way for maybe 3 or 4 kilometers, and the arrow popped up for the refuel. So I was really lucky on that and many things today. But I pushed really hard at the beginning, went fast.
So overall, it's now Andrew Short who's hit the top ahead of his teammate Quintanilla, Brabec, Barreda for Honda, and then Toby Price for KTM. Nasser Al-Attiyah came into the day with a hand on the World Cup. A 17-minute lead was what he needed with the Toyota, but a big impact broke the crank sensor and it wouldn't restart. Is the World Cup slipping through the Qataris' hands? Peder Hansel was unlucky to fall 5 metres down a cliff. The car took an awful amount of damage, but they were okay. Incredibly, they managed to get the car out of the stage, therefore keeping their World Cup hopes alive. 20 kilometres before the finish, it was a bad judgment on my part. I wanted to avoid 2 small dunes to make time. I went to the right because it looked flatter. It was only sand, so I thought it was going to be quicker there rather than passing over more bumps. But at the top of the dune, it was a small cliff of about 5 metres. We were only doing 5 kilometres an hour. The car fell down, did a vault, and we destroyed the suspension. Fernando Alonso had a day of punctures. He even had a flat on the way to the stage. Then he used up all his spares, and then he took the spares of Al-Attiyah. Suzuka or Le Mans, this is not, but he's preparing for more desert rallying.
We have too many punches again. At one point we saw Nasser stopping there, so we stopped to see what happened, and we found out that he had an engine problem, and we took some tires from him, and we took it a little bit easy until the end, so we could have done a very good stage, but maybe tomorrow, the last day, is the good day for us.
Serradori took advantage once more with the immaculate SRT buggy. He's been there and thereabouts all rally and has now slotted into 3rd. Things are certainly looking up. 2 days have brought 2 wins for Carlos Sainz. He is in the groove here in Morocco. After 32 years of rallying, he's still winning stages, and he's up to 2nd overall. This rally is not over yet. De Villiers' pace was electrifying, and even losing 15 minutes trying to find his waypoint, he now leads Rallye du Maroc with the Toyota Hilux. He's got just 4 3/4 minutes between him and victory.
You know, these races are crazy. It's never over until it's done. You know, I'm sure Carlos is going to push like hell tomorrow, but we'll try and keep him behind us.
De Villiers' lead is 4 minutes and 42 seconds ahead of Carlos Sainz. Serradori 3rd, Przgonski in the Mini in 4th ahead of Peder Hansel. Jean-Antoine Sabatier with his buggy 1 heads the open class. The top step should be his. Tomorrow is the final day of Rallye du Maroc 2019. Who will be king of the desert? The final day of Rallye du Maroc 2019, and still there's much to play for. 168 kilometres, the final blast through the Atlas. Coming from Botswana, Ross Branch is the Kalahari Ferrari, and has left a big calling card to the factory teams with 8th on Rallye du Maroc. Matthias Falkner won 2 days ago, but an off yesterday meant his knee wasn't up to full strength. That's pushed last year's winner to 7th. Luciano Benavides was within 10 minutes of the outright winner in Morocco, but even after 5 days of rallying, that was just 6th. Ricky Brabeck got close to a podium, but the Honda rider was a super strong 5th instead, just 4 minutes back. Toby Price has had a barren year with injury, but reminded the world how fast he is in the desert today, and even though he had a huge crash near the end, falling on his head, he won the stage by 3 minutes, 4th overall for the Aussie. Winner of stage 2, Juan Barreda pushed as hard as he could all rally, and has been rewarded with a podium spot with his Honda. The Spaniard a close 2nd on the stage today. Two riders, same team, but after 18 hours of rallying, there was just 35 seconds between American Andrew Short and Chile's Pablo Quintanilla. Quintanilla only had Short in his sights today. He had to gain and push and fight as much as he could, but in the end, he was a close second, which meant that Andrew Short had to ride the stage of his life. He hustled his Husqvarna over the final kilometres to win Rallye de Maroc 2019, his first rally raid win at World Championship level.
Rally humbled me a lot. You know, I could always ride the speed with these guys, but I could never navigate or know the strategy and all that. So that's what's so cool about Rally. It's not just about speed, it's all these other elements. And that's what makes it addicting and fun and challenging to keep coming back year after year, and hopefully I can continue to do this. I'm not the youngest guy, and it's kind of like my second career, so I feel blessed to be here.
Rallye Sands humbled many of the men with yet another stunning victory in the ladies class and 18th overall. Chile's Ignacio Casale won the quads, the Yamaha rider battling all rally with 2019 champion Rafael Sonic. 18 riders finished the Enduro class in Morocco, Javier Flick winning ahead of Guillaume Bourne and Damien Bataille. He won the Daytona and Le Mans 24 Hours in 2019, but Fernando Alonso has capped off his season finishing Rallye de Maroc. The star of world motorsport getting his Toyota safely across the line. Nani Roma in the Borg Ward finished 7th. The new car can develop from here. Yazid Al-Raji's Toyota took 6th. With new co-driver Michael Orr, a strong partnership has been forged. Kuba Przgonski would have been higher were it not for bad luck early on, but the Pole has got the pace with the four-wheel drive Mini in 4th. 3rd for Mathieu Serradori, the Frenchman proved he's a tidy driver and a real star for the future. His SR team were delirious at the finish, his birthday just 2 days away. He may have blitzed the 2 previous stages, but a water pipe popped off Carlos Sainz's mini buggy, so he had to settle for 2nd in Morocco and leading 2-wheel drive. Leader coming into the final stage with the slimmest of margins was Janil de Villiers. He had to hit every waypoint perfectly to hold his lead, and he did just that. The South African team had brought a new car to Morocco, and it worked perfectly. De Villiers with new co-driver Alex Harrow win Rallye de Maroc 2019 for Toyota.
Thank you to the team, they did a great job the whole week on the car. It's great to have a win here just before the Dakar. It was a proper race, the 5 stages were really challenging, and you know, to come out on top is really nice feeling.
1, 2, 3 in Morocco, De Villiers, Sainz and Serradori. After the World Cup leader Alatia retired yesterday, it meant Stefan Pederhansel had to keep his 5th overall to take the biggest prize of all. Carefully threading his way through the stage, he and wife Andrea managed to be inch perfect to win the FIA Cross Country World Cup for 2019. We were on the back foot after an accident that was my fault, but after thinking about it, we thought we could save the World Cup. We fixed the car and managed to finish yesterday's stage. 5th is not a great result on the rally, but it's brilliant to win the World Cup. De Villiers wins his 4th Rallye de Maroc, the difference just under 5 minutes ahead of Carlos Sainz. Przgonski has now taken 3rd after Serradori was underweight. Sergei Karakin won SSV with his Snag Proto, just 40 seconds ahead of Ronaldo Varela's Can-Am. Alexander Dorosinski was 3rd. Jean-Antoine Sabatier was victorious in the open class ahead of Dupont and Gateau. Iveco's all the way in the truck class, Czechs dominating with a 1-2, Valtier and Martin having a week-long battle. See you for more Rallye de Maroc in 2020.